You can see there's quite a bit of color on these pages. I just happen to love color, obviously. How did I get that color? I first began with gesso, a layer of gesso, plain white gesso. It does not have to be the expensive stuff. I just grab whatever I have and I put it on with a wide brush, coat my pages really well. One of the next ingredients that I use is watercolor pencils, and I have quite an assortment. These are my Derwents. My God, I love these. I have to tell you, I do love them. A bit of a caveat, when you use your Derwents, the pigmentation and the color, they're called ink tints for a reason, okay? They will stain your fingers. So if you don't want to stain your fingers, you just may want to use disposable gloves, just in case you're going out to dinner. We're going to talk about applying color to this page using watercolor pencils. For purposes of demonstration, I know some of you have the ink tints, and I did mention that I will be using these. I'm taking 3 colors, sun yellow, poppy red, and tangerine. If you have these colors, great. If not, that's okay. If you have Derwent ink tints, great. If you don't, go into your stash, find out what you got. I've got a ton of watercolor pencils here, and any one of these will work just as well. Again, remember the apple. So I've prepped my page with the gesso, and I'm ready to begin applying color. I'm going to start with the lighter color first. I like starting lighter. I'm taking my sun yellow, or if you've got a representative yellow, and I'm just scribbling it, just like a kid. This is the fun part. Scribble, 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 scribble. Oh, see, I had a little bit of water on this page. Look how much darker it got. Am I going to worry about that? Nope. I'm going with it because I'm embracing imperfection. I'm taking the color all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom of this page. Right? First layer done. I like working in 3s. I'm taking my tangerine. If you've got an orange, use your orange pencil. And I am now applying randomly to this page. I'm trying to balance the colors though. Did you notice I'm trying to get something a little balanced going on here? Okay, last but not least, my poppy red. Again, applying the color. Now, these colors look relatively similar. Believe me, they're not. You'll see that when we start to do wonderful things to these. Okay, again, this is to a gessoed page. This page was gessoed, and I start to use my watercolor pencils to apply color. Next step, again, take your baby wipe. I've wrung it out. I've tried to remove some of the moisture, the excess moisture from this. I'm taking my baby wipe again, very gently. I'm blending color. OMG, look at the Derwent. Look, how fabulous is this? And if you'll notice, I'm turning my wipe. And now I'm dabbing because I like the texture that that's giving me. Again, look at this. You know, for as many times as I do this, I love doing this. It's magic. I think it's magic. It's a grown-up form of magic, isn't it? Okay, look at how beautiful and intense that color is. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Can't get enough. Okay, and make sure too that you've covered the inside crease. You want to get color everywhere. You really want to do that. And again, I've put the cardstock between the pages, and this will give me a nice basis for future pages. Okay, we're going to dry this and apply even more color. Be back in just a moment. Okay, I've taken the opportunity to dry this page, and if you'll notice, the color has gotten just a little bit lighter through the drying process. I'm taking crayon number 4. This happens to be cadmium orange, and I'm going to apply some orange on the sides, coming down the sides of this, right over what I've already done and dried. Again, the basis of this was gesso. I'm intensifying my color. Can't really see much of it, but that's okay. Again, I'm trying to work intuitively, so it's a little difficult for me. I'm not quite used to that, explaining the process, but bear with me. I'm using poppy red, and I'm applying it to just a little bit of the page. Just want to deepen this just a little more. Okay, and again, I'm taking my yellow and applying it in the center. Again, the baby white. Oh, yes, yes. I've started from the inside of the page, the inside. I'm working my way out blending now because this is another layer. I've turned my baby white to a relatively clean spot. Very, very, very lightly so as not to remove most of this color. I'm blending very lightly. And there are places that I really want to leave this a little darker. And if you'll notice, I'm taking just the whisper like angel wings, the color from the outside of the page to the inside of the page. If I want, I can keep adding even more color to this, but I'm pretty happy with the way this is. This will give me a nice basis for a background for the next few pages. So again, this was applying your watercolor pencils, in this case the Derwents, to a gessoed ground. Let's move on and I'll show you one more technique. This time I've taken a plain page that has not been prepped with gesso. There is no gesso on this page. It's raw cardstock. I'm going to use regular watercolor crayons this time, not the Derwents, but you may use your Derwents. It doesn't matter whether you use watercolor crayon or whether you use your Derwent Inktense. You're going to get similar results. What I want to do is show you this technique for laying color on a page quickly. So I'm taking a blue, just a regular old blue. It's the watercolor pencil, and I am just, again, it's not an exact science. I always like starting, I guess, from the outside of the page. It gives me a basis. And I'm just scribbling. A lot of times I'll put music on and scribble to the music. I find this piece very zen. Some days I'll just take pages and prep them with color. I like doing that. Alright, so I've got blue on the outside, and I've got this pretty teal green for the inside. I like that. Again, I'm thinking about my next color as I'm scribbling here. Again, cover the center, and if you have to turn your book to do it, then turn your book to do it. It doesn't matter if you're going up and down, sideways, and sometimes I'll blend some of that color on the sides. Okay? Alright, so I've got my color in the center, my color on the outside. I used two colors, a blue and a teal. And now I think I want to add a little bit of fuchsia, just a touch. Let's see what happens when I do that. I like to experiment sometimes. There are no accidents. There are only opportunities. Embrace the imperfection of it all. Remember that apple. I know you're going to get tired of hearing that, but remember the apple. We're all different results. And I can use these same colors on another page and come up with something that's absolutely totally different. So again, it's all different every time. I've taken my water dish. I've got my wide paintbrush. This is damp. I'm taking my gesso. Look, here we go. A little more water. Oh, pretty. How pretty is this? Very watercolory. But the gesso is prepping the page and spreading the color. It's giving me, look at the results, how different with watercolor. And that's the difference too that you're going to find using your gesso straight on top of these watercolors. It'll give you a different result. Experiment. Have fun with it. It's a nice basis though for a ground. Okay. There we go. All right. Nice, lovely, very soft. But this page is prepped to receive even more color. And we'll do that as soon as I dry these pages. We'll be back. The initial preparation on this page was done. I used regular watercolor pencils and applied them with gesso. I laid them down on the page first and then smushed them around with the gesso. Technical term, smushed. I like the way this is as is. I could use it as is and layer more color over this. However, I am choosing to go a little adventurous, and I am using just regular acrylic paint that I'll find in any of the craft stores. That's great. I've chosen 2 colors, a light blue and a turquoise. And I'm just going to apply these because I like to see what happens. I shake it up. And I'm just going to put little dabs of color on this page. If you don't like wrecking your manicure, my suggestion is to use a pair of rubber gloves or disposable gloves. And I am, again, just randomly putting dots of color. Again, plain acrylic craft paint. Doesn't have to be golden. But you know what? I like to live dangerously, so let's add a little more intense color too with the golden. You can see where the golden pigments are much brighter and stronger. All right, doesn't matter. Taking my baby wipe, I'm going to start woohoo, playing. Oh, I love this. Love the way this is coming out. And I like these swirls. Again, I'm dabbing. Again, it's intuitive. I'm taking my paper towel and just kind of buffing the color to give it a softer kind of a look. You can use the same technique over pages that you don't have watercolor on, as long as your pages are gessoed beforehand. Okay, so if you'd like to use this technique, look at that. Oh my God, I mean, how fabulous is this? Just acrylic paint and a baby wipe on a page. How fast is this? Now, it's almost dry, so I want to intensify this color just a little more. I'm going to use a little more golden over there. Find another space in my... Now I have blue fingers and a messy manicure. Doesn't matter. Yes, I have gone to dinner with paint on my fingers. And this time I'm going to take the page over and just kind of tamp it. Let's see what happens. Ooh, like that. All right. And I'm going to take this and dab a little more. And you notice some of that extra color is coming off on the page. That suits me just fine, thank you so much. It gives it a beautiful kind of lovely marbled look. So again, very simple. All I did was use 3 colors of paint. Baby wipe, patience. Speaking of layers, we're going to take this one step further. I'm going to take my crayon and I'm going to use it on the edges. I'm going to, now this is over the acrylic paints. I'm not fussy. I'm an equal opportunity employer when it comes to using media. It doesn't matter to me. I like using different mediums. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a border on here. I like that. Defines the page. Again, taking a clean baby wipe and I'm pulling the color inside the page. Whisper light. I don't want to lift this color. I just want to see how it's pulled down. I'm pulling this color down into the page and blending it to just darken these edges and give it a little more interest. And if I have color, I'll even smush it on my background on these little protection pages, I call them, because they'll be beautiful. They'll give me an opportunity to have some fun with that. Okay, I think I want to add just a little more color. And pop goes the lid. Just a tiny bit. I don't want to get crazy. Don't want to get crazy, crazy, crazy. Just a little more. Yes, 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 yes. Now see, that kind of dried a little bit. So when I put the soft layer of color over, it will give me some depth. And you can keep going with this. A lot of times I do. But I think this is a good point to stop this page. I'm very happy with the way this page has come out. Well, there were a few techniques that I showed you that I hope that you enjoy. Again, just using simple materials. You want to take time and add color to your journal before we begin. You want to color the inside of your cover as well as the outside. And as you start adding your color to your pages, think about how you would like your finished journal to look. I like turning the pages and finding random color. That excites me. But it's your journal. Do what makes you happy. On this journal, I chose to use different colors, inside and out. Again, your choice, your journal, your colors. Whatever makes you happy. Use these techniques. Adapt them as your own. You'll find that as you play, you're going to learn more. You're going to have a lot more fun. So go on, prep your pages, get them ready for the next lesson. We'll be adding some images, and we'll start to add some of our secret elements to the pages so that you can begin journaling your secrets. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Go ahead, get your pages and your book all ready, because we're going on to the next video in I Have a Secret. Namaste.